What's your name?
My name is Jeffrey Isaac, and I'm an alumnus here at Texas Southern University.
And when and where were you born?
I was born in Huntsville, Alabama in the 90s.
And how did your family get to Texas and where were they before that?
My family got to Texas. That's a pretty good story. Well, I have a cousin on my mother's side that decided to come to Houston when I was a young age. And we were pretty connected as we were growing up. And he said to come on out to Houston. So when I got down to Houston, I saw that there was a HBCU here called Texas Southern University, and I decided to come here, and it's worked out for the best.
Okay. What would you remember about your childhood?
One of my fondest memories of my childhood is just all the different museums that I went to. It was a lot of STEM museums, a lot of science projects, and I feel like I had a very fun, enjoying childhood. I really enjoyed it.
And what kind of interactions did you have with people not of your racial background?
Some were good, some were bad. However, you know, I try to believe that if you treat people by their character versus their color, then, no matter if they're black, purple, green, or yellow, or teak, you know, um, things will work out for the better. But, some people still have that vision of judging you by your color. But, I just try to dust it off and just try to make them feel comfortable as well.
What notable moment in America's history sticks out most in your memory?
One of the most notable moments within history for me is the civil rights movement. Um, there's very prominent people within the African American community that I look up to and try to learn from. But one of my favorite moments is the Black Panther movement. They started in the late '60s and they ended about the early 1980s. And they did a lot of things to make sure the community was upheld in great standards. They gave children um, breakfast food in order for them to learn in schools. They even had like scientific research on sickle cell, and they tried to walk around the streets to make sure people were treated equally by the police, which are all great things and a holistic thought process on how the community could be uplifted. So I try to take small things from them in order to make sure my leadership is great.
Where were you? How would you respond? And how did people around you respond to the Black Panther movement?
Um, well, from the accounts I've got from my grandmother, within the civil rights movement, she was from Memphis, Tennessee, and I actually grew up in Memphis, Tennessee when I left Huntsville, Alabama. And she made sure she was very connected with the community by being a teacher. And when protests and different marches went on, she would go and participate and make sure everything was okay. So there was one example. There was a young man that wanted to be the first African American to go to Ole Miss, which is about 50 miles outside of Memphis, Tennessee. And she made sure she showed up. She made sure Martin Luther King came that day as well. And they marched him to the state line so he can march his way on to Ole Miss in order for him to start his protest in order to enroll in the school. So that's one of the great experiences that I feel like it's within our family that will be passed down for generations.
And what made you choose Texas Southern University?
I chose Texas Southern University because I have family here in Houston, that I really like to grow and get to know better, and we're becoming a stronger family as well. Also, um, there's other friends that I came here as well that said, this will be a good place for you.
Okay. And what did you decide to study?
I decided to study chemistry here. Mhm.
Would you identify in the present time as your role model or a significant figure to this generation?
Oh wow, that's a good one. Um, I identify with quite a few figures, especially in the public light. Um, the people who try to make sure that they are good role models and good people withstanding within the entertainment industry are like, for example, J. Cole, you have Kendrick Lamar, and some others that try to put in a socially conscious view on things within the world and make it cool, as well as try to be leaders when they're not entertaining people as well. But one of the main ones I would say is Barack Obama because over his last two elections, I participated within the election process. Of course, I voted for both times. And I tried to make sure during the first election that I voted for him, as well as make sure people were registered to vote, make sure where to go within the community in order to vote, because it's very important to vote for all elections, not just your presidential election, because it was historic. But in order to get things done, you had to have a crew of people in order to push government in the right way. So during the second election, I was here in Texas. However, I wasn't allowed to register people to vote because um, different rules were put in place in order for me to have to be a Texas citizen in order to. And with different problems within the system in trying to find ways for people not to vote, that's becoming a problem because people are being discouraged to use their voice, what we have fought for within the civil rights movement, with what the Black Panthers fought for. So the things that we're fighting for, some people are trying to push back on the progress, which I really hate and that very disappoints me. It disappoints me, excuse me. But we just have to move on and make sure the fight for civil rights just keep going.
Now, describe campus life at Texas Southern University when you got here and compare it to where it is now.
When I got here, um, campus life was pretty good when I got here. I just had all the crazy freshman problems that any freshman would have. The homesickness, the adjusting to a new area, just things of that nature. But as soon as my upperclassmen years started to come and I started to get the kick of things and, my grades were getting higher and higher, then, things worked well for me. So that's why I'm not disappointed with my experience here at Texas Southern.
Now, do you think that HBCUs, historically black college universities, are important? Why or why not?
Yes, I do believe HBCUs are very important. People today feel like HBCUs are not important. However, when you have different issues in between racial equality within PWIs, just a couple of weeks ago, University of Missouri, Yale University, Columbia University, Cornell University, UCLA, and different other PWIs, they have been having problems within racial tensions on their campuses, which is very harmful to a student's learning process within college because you're there to learn freely and think freely in order to get an experience where you can learn and actually progress in the world after college, which is something that within HBCU you get the total nourishment that you need. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, not everywhere is perfect. However, with that being said, HBCU experience, make sure that you are completely learning if you're pushing yourself and giving you that total focus so you can understand yourself, understand the total history that you have come from, and so you can understand the different fields that you're looking to go into, which is very important today when I feel like will continue to be important. So I just try to push people, especially young people, to think about going to a HBCU, thinking about going to different colleges. I'm not saying that HBCU is for everybody, but no matter who the person is, no matter what his skin color is, you can come to a place where people are actually trying to care to push you to greater heights, which I really enjoy for this space, especially here at Texas Southern University.